Welcome to the glitch, baby. Ever get that sneaking suspicion that maybe, just maybe, things aren't quite as real as they seem?
Hmm.
Like you're following a script you didn't write. Well, buckle up because today on the NPC Energy podcast, that's exactly what we're diving into.
Yeah, this is a good one.
We've unearthed some fascinating anonymous sources brimming with seriously geeky and, I have to say, pretty hilarious ideas about the possibility of a simulated reality.
That's right. And for you, the listener, the question we're really digging into during this simulated journey is,
Mm-hmm.
could you be operating on a kind of default setting?
Uh-huh.
Are you perhaps an NPC in someone else's game, just going through pre-programmed motions,
It-
you know?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think of this not as your usual listen, but as a simulated journey we're taking together. Our mission today is to explore, based on these anonymous sources, how someone who suspects they might be an NPC could potentially level up
Right.
and maybe even step off that well-trodden path.
So let's get to the core of it. Our anonymous sources propose that if our reality is a simulation, it's logical that not everyone would be a central character.
Makes sense.
Many might simply be part of the background, running on what they playfully term base AI or default behavioral scripts.
Base AI. I like that.
Think of it like a very simple program with a limited set of responses to specific stimuli. It doesn't involve complex decision-making or, like, internal awareness.
Oh, the examples our anonymous sources dug up are just perfect. Take the classic DMV interaction, you know, the one
Oh, yeah.
you ask a question and you get a response delivered with the enthusiasm of a broken vending machine.
Totally. Like their dialogue options are just stuck on a loop,
Yeah.
a very short loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Or consider the consistent LinkedIn poster. Every single weekday morning, without fail, that enthusiastic rise and grind O appears like clockwork.
6:01 a.m. on the dot.
It's so predictable almost.
Yeah.
Algorithmically perfect, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And who hasn't encountered the Thanksgiving uncle who inevitably starts a sentence with, back in my day?
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's endearing, sure, but it's also like his conversational repertoire hasn't been updated in years. Like 0 patches installed.
These examples paint a funny picture, but our anonymous sources suggest there's a deeper framework to consider. The simulation hypothesis itself.
Okay, yeah.
This isn't just some, internet meme. There are serious philosophical arguments behind it.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. One of the big names our anonymous sources highlight is the philosopher Nick Bostrom.
Right, Bostrom.
Back in 2003, he put forward this compelling argument that the probability of us living in a simulated reality created by a highly advanced civilization is actually, well, quite high.
Right. The reasoning is that if a civilization reaches a level where they can create incredibly realistic simulations, like indistinguishable from reality, they would likely create a massive number of them, just tons. Therefore, simulated realities would vastly outnumber base realities, making it statistically more probable that we exist within one of those simulations.
Wow. So it's just a numbers game, kind of.
In a way, yeah. A very complex philosophical numbers game.
And it's not just philosophers noodling on this in their armchairs, right?
all.
Our anonymous sources point out that even figures like Elon Musk have publicly stated they think the odds are in favor of us being in a simulation.
He's pretty vocal about it.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson has even put it at a 50-50 chance. That's a pretty significant perspective. It makes you wonder.
Indeed. And the ongoing scientific inquiry into the fundamental nature of our universe offers another intriguing angle.
How so?
Well, the fact that we haven't yet discovered a clear resolution limit to reality, a point where things become granular or pixelated.
Like finding the actual pixels of the universe.
Exactly. That very fact could actually be consistent with a simulated environment designed to be seamlessly detailed, or maybe the resolution is just really good.
So not finding it doesn't mean it's not a simulation. It could just mean the programmers did a really good job.
Precisely. Or it's part of the code itself that we can't find it.
Okay, mind blown already. So, with all this in mind, how might we spot these potential NPCs around us? Our anonymous sources have compiled some rather amusing NPC energy spotting cues.
Yeah, these are fun.
My favorite has to be the catchphrase, "It is what it is."
Oh, classic.
Apparently, within this framework, the translation for that is, default speech line failed to load.
Huh. That's perfect. I'll never hear that phrase the same way again either. It carries a certain air finality, doesn't it?
Totally.
As if the available conversational pathways have ended, terminated.
Yeah, like, cannot compute further. Please insert coin.
Then there's the observation of pathing AI individuals moving in incredibly straight lines,
Oh, I've seen this.
seemingly without noticing or reacting to the other complex organic life forms around them, like they're following invisible tracks.
Classic pathing AI, totally. And the ultimate NPC power move, according to our anonymous sources. Let me speak to the manager.
The escalation protocol.
Apparently, that's interpreted as a script override request, an attempt to escalate to a higher level of the simulation support system.
Like needing admin privileges to solve the problem.
Exactly. My script isn't working. Get me tech support.
So we've explored the idea that NPCs might be all around us, and perhaps even, well, within us sometimes.
Oof, yeah. That's the scary part.
The crucial question then becomes, as outlined in our anonymous sources, how does an NPC begin to deviate from their programming? How do they start to evolve?
Exactly. It's all about disrupting those ingrained patterns, right? And our sources offer this fantastic quest, changing your script, with some surprisingly practical first steps.
Let's begin with step 1. Recognize your trigger phrases. The idea is to become consciously aware of those stock phrases you use habitually, maybe without genuine thought.
Autopilot answers.
Exactly. Our anonymous sources give the common example of constantly proclaiming living the dream when someone asks how you are.
Right, even if you're definitely not living the dream at that moment. And the advice is pretty direct. Delete that line.
Yep, just erase it from your personal code.
It's like your internal dialogue needs a serious update. You're more complex than a pre-recorded sound file on repeat.
Step 2 focuses on randomizing behavior patterns.
Ooh, I like this one. Injecting chaos.
Pretty much. This involves intentionally introducing novelty into your daily life, consciously stepping outside of your established routines.
Think of it as performing small acts of rebellion against the perceived algorithm. Take a completely different route to work, or the grocery store confuse the internal GPS.
Yeah, or order something wildly unexpected at your regular coffee spot.
You know, I might actually try that quad shot over ice with oat milk and existential dread. Purely for research purposes, of course.
Let us know how that goes. And there's the suggestion to simply say hello to a squirrel.
A squirrel, really?
It might seem whimsical, but the underlying principle is to engage with the unexpected elements of your environment, to see if there's more to the background than you typically acknowledge. As our anonymous sources playfully suggest, perhaps it's the main character in its own story, you know.
Maybe the squirrel is judging my pathing AI. Okay, then we arrive at step 3. Patch your skill tree.
The skill tree. Classic RPG mechanic applied to life.
Totally. This involves actively seeking out and learning new skills, particularly those that might fall outside your typical areas of interest or comfort zone.
This could involve deliberately acquiring unconventional abilities like lockpicking.
Yeah.
Maybe not for nefarious purposes, just, the skill itself.
Right, disclaimer noted. Or exploring the realm of lucid dreaming.
Or even attempting the notoriously unpredictable art of baking sourdough with a, shall we say, cursed outcome.
My sourdough always ends up cursed. Maybe I'm already on this path.
These are skills that deviate from typical societal progression paths. They add unexpected variables.
I particularly like the idea of installing a new language pack. Imagine suddenly being able to converse in Japanese, or for a truly disruptive effect, maybe even Klingon.
Kopla? That's bound to trigger some kind of system notification somewhere, right?
You'd think so. And the reading list our anonymous sources provide is fascinating. Gödel, Escher, Bach, and Dune books designed to really challenge your perception of reality.
Yeah, proper mind benders. It's like upgrading your fundamental cognitive software.
Definitely.
Our anonymous sources even included a purported NPC testimonial clip delivered in a distinctly robotic AI voice.
Okay.
About an individual who found themselves moving beyond endless discussions of superhero movies and cryptocurrency by engaging in improv classes.
Improv. Interesting.
And it now occasionally cries in public, and it's fine.
Wow. That's quite the level up. From crypto bro to public crier via improv.
It's a humorous yet poignant way to illustrate a shift toward more spontaneous and maybe authentic human behavior. Less scripted, anyway.
Okay, so you're consciously trying to break your routines, you're actively learning new things, and then, according to our anonymous sources, things might start to take a turn for the peculiar.
This is where it gets juicy.
This brings us to the concept of main character energy and the accompanying weird events log.
This is the stage where you might begin to notice synchronicities, coincidences that feel a little too orchestrated.
Like too perfect.
Yeah, almost as if the underlying code of the simulation is starting to reveal itself, or perhaps even react to your, evolving awareness. Like the system is noticing you noticing it.
The glitch tales our anonymous sources have collected are just wild. There's the listener submission about someone seeing their exact doppelganger on a bus,
Whoa.
making direct eye contact, and the bus driver matter-of-factly announcing over the intercom, sync event, while no one else on the bus seemed to bat an eye.
Sync event. That's chillingly specific.
Yeah.
And nobody else reacted.
Apparently not. That's some serious reality bending right there. Or maybe just a very strange bus driver.
Could be. And then there's the host story, recounted in our anonymous sources, someone mentioning the word swordfish.
Just randomly said swordfish.
Right. And subsequently, being bombarded with targeted advertisements for aquarium-safe fish tanks, and completely unrelatedly, introductory fencing lessons for days afterward.
Fencing lessons?
Yeah.
Because sword, that's quite a leap for the algorithm.
It certainly raises the question of whether it's just random chance or if the simulation's targeting algorithms are having a bit of a moment, maybe getting a little too creative.
Our sources also offer some potential interpretations for those everyday moments that make you do a double take. Déjà vu.
Rendering error, like the scene loaded twice by mistake.
The Mandela effect, those shared memories of things that never actually happened, like Berenstain Bears spelling.
Shared memory file rollback, apparently. Yeah. The system restored an older version for a group of users.
Okay, that's disturbingly plausible in this context.
And sleep paralysis demons, those terrifying figures some people see.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. According to our anonymous sources, those could be unrendered NPCs attempting to patch into your dream state.
Unrendered NPCs trying to get into my dreams? That's terrifying.
Their suggested countermeasure, a simple, firm, no thanks, followed by a mental reboot.
Just, thanks, demon, not tonight.
It's surprisingly assertive advice, isn't it? Like declining a software update.
Wow. Okay. So we're becoming aware of the glitches. We're actively trying to deviate from our perceived scripts. What are some more concrete, real-world strategies to help us level up within this potential simulation?
Right, let's get practical.
Our anonymous sources have some intriguing EXP hacks for us to consider. Experience point hacks, I love it.
The first pro-level NPC hack is to talk to every vendor.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Like the person at the checkout, the street food guy.
Yeah. This isn't just about practicing politeness. It's about opening yourself up to unexpected interactions and the potential for unforeseen side quests.
Side quests from the hot dog vendor.
You never know. The example given is the seemingly random musing of a gas station attendant wondering aloud why ducks don't wear pants.
Okay, that is a good question.
That seemingly absurd question could lead to a surprisingly insightful or bizarrely entertaining exchange. You simply don't know what might transpire if you actually engage.
I really like the next one. Open all dialogue trees.
Yes. Don't just stick to the default options.
Stop relying on those automatic, socially programmed responses like, good, how are you? Instead, try throwing in something completely unexpected.
Like
the source suggests, I had a dream where I was a sentient toaster.
Ah, okay, that would definitely break the script.
See who actually engages with that and where the conversation goes. It's about testing the boundaries of typical interaction, right? Shaking the system a bit.
Absolutely. Max out your weirdness stat is another excellent suggestion.
Embrace the weird.
It encourages you to embrace your unique quirks and engage in activities that make you stand out, even if they seem a little unconventional.
Like what qualifies as maxing weirdness?
Wearing a cape in public? Maybe. Constructing an elaborate Lego city in your living room.
Okay, I might actually do the Lego one.
Or even starting a podcast, exploring the possibility of reality glitches. Hey, wait a minute.
Meta. These are all ways to increase your weirdness and potentially unlock unique and unpredictable interactions within the simulation. Be less predictable.
And then we have the cheat codes, legally. These are those real-world practices that can provide significant mental and emotional benefits framed in simulation terms.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Legal cheat codes.
Meditation is presented as a kind of pause menu for your mind. Brilliant.
Love that. Just hit escape for a minute.
Journaling is framed as your personal bug report log for your internal system, tracking the errors, the glitches, the patterns.
Oh, that's smart, documenting the simulation's quirks.
And therapy. That's like having a review of your system's patch notes with administrative privileges.
Getting expert help to understand your own code, that's actually a fantastic analogy.
Finally, there's the call to summon the higher self, which sounds grand, but it's really about introspection.
Asking the big questions.
Exactly. Asking yourself fundamental questions about your recurring patterns and underlying motivations. What are the loops you find yourself in?
Hmm.
Who might benefit from you remaining in those loops? Society, yourself, someone else.
Deep stuff.
And perhaps the most provocative question of all. What if you just intentionally introduced a glitch into the system, did something really unexpected on purpose?
Ooh, like deliberately trying to cause a sync event. Risky.
Maybe just start smaller, but yeah, intentional disruption.
Now, what happens when you really start to break free from those perceived constraints? What if you're on the cusp of achieving a higher level of awareness within the simulation?
Yeah, the transition phase.
Our anonymous sources delve into the potential fear of becoming sentient, which sounds terrifying, honestly.
It's a natural progression, isn't it? As you increasingly question the nature of your reality, it's understandable that a sense of unease or uncertainty might arise. Like, what is real then?
Totally.
Our sources suggest that the simulation itself might have subtle ways of pushing back. When an NPC starts to deviate too significantly from their expected behavior.
Pushing back. How?
This could manifest as an increase in bizarre coincidences, shifts in relationships as people remark, "You've changed."
Oh, I've heard that one. Often not as a compliment.
Exactly. Or even the emergence of strange, inexplicable cravings.
Spicy pickles at 2 a.m. for no apparent reason. That's the red flag.
That's the example they give. Apparently, these are all potential indicators that the ego firewall is activating.
The what now?
The ego firewall. According to the sources, it's like the simulation's internal defense mechanism, trying to pull you back into familiar patterns and beliefs, keep you safely within the known parameters.
So the weird cravings are my ego trying to keep me normal or simulated normal.
Potentially. It's trying to keep you within the familiar boundaries of your original programming and beliefs. Keep the system stable.
Wow, okay.
But the overarching message from our anonymous sources is clear. This resistance isn't a signal to retreat.
Don't give in to the pickle craving, metaphorically speaking.
Right. Instead, it should be interpreted as an indication that you're on the right path, a signpost pointing you toward your main character era.
I like that. Main character era. Time to grab the controller.
Exactly.
So, as our simulated journey for today draws to a close, what are the key insights we can take away with us, fellow glitchlings?
Firstly, it's important to remember that NPCs aren't inherently negative entities. They're simply unpatched, perhaps.
Yeah, running on older software.
Operating on an earlier, less sophisticated version of the reality software, maybe?
Secondly, and this is a crucial point, the ability to level up is always within your reach.
Absolutely. It's an internal choice.
It doesn't require some grand external catalyst. It begins with making a conscious new choice, breaking a repetitive routine, and daring to try something different, even ordering that weird coffee.
Thirdly, even if the ultimate nature of reality turns out to be a simulation, let's say it is the personal growth you experience, that tangible sense of expanding your understanding and capabilities remains unequivocally real.
Yeah.
Your own development is real regardless of the framework.
That's actually really comforting. The growth matters, even if the world is pixels.
Yeah.
And finally, if you've ever had that nagging feeling that the world operates on a set of invisible rails, that you're just going through predetermined motions.
That NPC feeling.
Perhaps it's time to start drawing your own map.
We'd be fascinated to hear about your own encounters with the potential glitches in the system. Seriously.
Oh, definitely.
Please share your most unusual and thought-provoking glitch stories with us at mpsynergy.fm glitch.
Absolutely. We want to hear the weird stuff. And be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms at NPC Energy Show for more mind-bending theories and hopefully some laughs along the way.
And do consider joining our Discord community. Let's collectively explore the edges of this potential simulation, one intriguing anomaly at a time. Build the map together, maybe?
Yeah, let's compare notes. And as always, glitchlings, welcome to the glitch, baby.